who made some absolutely false statements.
Attorney Randy Cunliffe represents Tony Sgro, who has a contract with Lotte Duty Free Guam through 2023. DFS Guam attorney Patrick Seville, in court documents filed last week, alleges Sgro was receiving success fee payments from Lotte and then funneling proceeds to others, such as prominent businessman John Calvo, president and general manager of Mid-Pac Distributors. Those statements were echoed by DFS counsel Jay Srinivasan following a status conference held Friday afternoon before Judge Arthur Barcinas.
They said it was under the table, which means, in my opinion, that means it's illegal. It's a contract. I mean, if it's a contract, how can it be under the table?
Seville, in court documents, stated he'd seen photocopies of 3 checks issued in 2012, totaling a little over $100,000 from Sgro to Calvo. Cunliffe says the money had nothing to do with Lotte's contract, but instead that Sgro and Calvo are longtime friends, and the money was for helping him when he was experiencing financial problems several years ago.
And he was thanking John for everything John did in taking care of him and getting him hooked up with Lotte. But it had nothing to do with any contracts. It had nothing to do with any work. It had nothing to do with anything except returning friendship.
Cunliffe wants the FBI and GPD to investigate how Attorney Seville was able to have access to Sgro's bank records.
We don't know how he could have possibly seen those unless someone at the bank illegally released them or photocopied them, or somebody hacked a computer, because nobody has those except myself and Tony Sgro and the bank.
After 4 years, DFS and the airport will finally head to court in late May. DFS is suing the airport, alleging corruption, improper contacts, efforts to influence the airport board, and allegations of a flawed procurement process. The airport counters DFS is engaged in repeated attempts to influence the airport contract through coverage by international and local news media, including the Pacific News Center. Court documents alleging owner Rex Sorensen apparently owed DFS's Jim Bailey a favor. The airport also alleges government officials such as former GVB general manager, now duty-free Guam employee Joanne Camacho, and former Lotte duty-free employee S.K. Lee provided information about the company to DFS. GIAA submitted to the court hundreds of documents containing emails they believe show DFS allegedly engaging in corporate espionage and anti-competitive schemes. Cunliffe says whatever the case, his client has done nothing wrong.
He doesn't have a sense of what's going on between DFS and Lotte. You know, they're two economic giants fighting each other out. But he doesn't want his name dragged through the mud by these lawyers because they're trying to make issues with the judge or issues with the potential jurors by throwing things out.
Monday afternoon, Calvo, through a statement issued by his attorney Louis Yanza, said that he's known Tony for over 50 years and that he's not only a close friend, but a customer of Mid-Pac as well as some of the other Calvo companies. He adds his relationship with Tony has nothing to do with Lotte. Calvo stated, quote, "I understand that DFS is disappointed and upset with the loss of the airport concessions, which it held for decades, but it is wrong and unethical for its lawyer to make such reckless and false accusations. We have had a strong business relationship with DFS and many of its employees and principals for decades. DFS is a tenant of Calvo Enterprises, and Mid-Pac even shares its current building with DFS. Calvo added both DFS and Lotte are good customers of Mid-Pac and would extend the same courtesies and accommodations to both as they would any other customers. Calvo added they are not in any way involved in the airport's evaluation and selection process, but as a business stand ready to help any customer or potential customer with business information and recommendations, as well as the service and product Mid-Pac can provide." As for Lotte, its attorney Cesar Cabot issued a statement in response to recent court documents filed by the airport. Cabot stated Lotte is extremely shocked by the documents and communications. He added they will look at the allegations and facts raised by GIAA very seriously, closely, and vigorously search for the truth. Trial has been set for May 22nd.